Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's perfectly imperfect. This is one of my favorite worship songs. So today I'm coming, and I want to talk about being found faithful, being consistent. I've been in my feelings all day. I want to talk about that. Being in your feelings can cost you everything. Being in your feelings can cost you your freedom. It can cost you your family. It can cost you business. It can cost your life. One of the scariest and weakest places to be in life is in your feelings. Being driven and moved by your feelings will get you heartbroken, used, abused, lied on, lied to, manipulated. These things can happen throughout life, but when you operate out of your feelings, you are easy access, and I don't care how wise that you think you are. That's why I said, being in your feelings. What happened with people in their feelings and being driven by their feelings? David killed a man so he could sleep with a woman because of a feeling. You understand? Moses missed the promised land for hitting the rock instead of speaking to it because of feelings. Your feelings can cost you everything. Jonah had to go speak to people that persecuted the Jews and were harsh and terrible to the Jews. And the book of his in the Bible, it ended with him sitting under a tree, and God burned down the tree that gave him the shade and the cool and all of that, right? Jesus. And I often thought about that, like, dang, that's what unforgiveness is like. Because while God blessed them, you can put yourself with your feelings where God can still bless you, but you won't know the fullness of whatever he had for you. So you limit yourself. Because he said his cup runneth over. But you might get a cup that just gets filled. Not quite lacking, not quite overflowing, just there. Mediocre. So it's important. If you in business, I watched actual bosses and entrepreneurs. They have to keep going regardless of who comes or who goes. Even if you don't have a good or a subpar, whatever kind of staff, that sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But you cannot run a business in your feelings. Actually, the boss who, that's the way you want to be understood, accepted, received, you want to be revered. No, I want to be respected. I want my business respected. I have compassion, but when you have things driven by emotion, you are guaranteed to have a mess. Especially a whole environment with women. Men do it too, though. You know, but you know, I never thought I would see a time like, you know, I thought that Real Housewives of Atlanta and all that stuff with the women, like, yeah, this TV, this just making us look real bad. Till I got in a real environment, I'm like, oh my goodness, women really do act like this. See, I've been a loner a lot of my life, and then relationships I've had with women, it's never been massive groups. It's been one or two here, because I don't allow people in my space closely. I just always been a person, once you show me something, you know, while operating in wisdom now, but it's an instant wall. You won't even know it's there. It might take you to 6 months to realize I don't deal with you, because nothing changes. It don't even feel different. It'll just have to be a moment when you realize I don't mess with you, because you only got to show me one time. And while it won't change my love, it'll change your access. And that's what I'm saying. When you're driven by feelings, what is your real motive? Because if you are driven by emotions, it's something unfulfilled in you. If you're going to work for God, your emotions have to take a back seat. If you're going to run a business, your emotions have to take a back seat. They don't come out on the floor. They don't come out in whatever work you do, whatever company you run. It is nobody's business. When you decide to go into a business, if you really care about your business and you want it to really thrive and you want to have a good reputation, it's a lot of sacrifice. It's about your vision, but to make the business successful, it's not really about that boss. They are driven to get to whatever point it is that they want to get to. And then it's like not a rest there, because now you have to keep it going. You have to keep it thriving. What makes you stand out? So whatever your work ethic is, you have to have if you have a staff with you, you want a staff with their work ethic to match yours. That's stressful, because now we live in a world of entitlement and everybody act like they doing you a favor and want to cuss you out, and you the one with the paycheck. Got to be more careful. Ministry is where God hire you. You don't fill out no application. In this land of free will that he has given us, you still have it. You can say yes or no, but I've qualified you. And you gonna work with me or work for me anyway? Because it'll follow you. It will follow you. So I'm just talking about being in your feelings and the different variables and how it can cost you things. But at the same time, I'm saying you should be in touch with your feelings. You cannot operate anything healthy, because let me tell you, this world operates like dysfunction is oxygen to it. It's not okay. I literally was in a work environment where a group of women decided for me how I should be, because the way that I am, amicable. We're going to use some words today. I'm amicable. Look it up. I'm humorous. I can be consistent. And even if I'm not having a great day, it's not for the public to see, you know. Where you get a problem out of me is you cannot make me be anybody other than myself. I've tried that throughout the years. Even in teenage years, I would try to like, oh, this, and give about 2-3 weeks. It was a window I had. Like, yeah, that's dumb. I'm gonna just be me. And in that group dynamic with women, I've never understood what that is. You a friend, you this, you that, but at any turn you will wait and just pounce or use each other's weaknesses when we all need each other, and it's not one better than the other. I mean, I've been around with groups with women. They compliment each other, they build each other, they will talk to each other, and then I'm there and I don't get that. I pour in to others is not reciprocated. That used to really bother me for a long time. But the past decade taught me a lot about what jealousy truly looks like. And jealousy, like real jealousy, I'm not talking about coveting and, wanting some material things. Because you can buy a life. You can buy a facade. But I'm talking about real jealousy. When it's something that comes from your character. They can imitate, but they can't really walk it through. It's always cracks in it. So to be in an environment where people feel you should be like them, then when you say I walk with respect and integrity, and I'm going to be consistent in that, and that's not good enough, why do I have to think like you and talk like you and act like you? You're not even happy inside of you. So why would I want to participate in being sick when I'm trying to heal? I really had a group of people stop talking to me because I went and bought food for myself as an adult, and I didn't take orders for everyone else. When I worked there the first couple of months, nobody even spoke to me. And the only person who did speak to me was only speaking to me like to get information. And that goes back to Nehemiah when I talked about who was it? Tobiah, the servant. It's always one. You got the most to say and no authority to execute anything. What type of dysfunction, toxic, has nothing to do with anything that a group of full-grown adult women will stop talking to somebody because they went to get themselves lunch, and that's not what I should do. That's what the word should have been. And decided to, as all adults, we're not going to talk to another adult. So then when this adult, because it's somewhere in the scripture say, agree with your, agree. I'm going to agree. I'm going to forgive quickly, but I'm about to agree. And then now 2 weeks has passed, but I accommodated you, right? Do you know how embarrassing that is? This is the world we live in. This is what happens when you are driven by feelings and emotions. And nobody calls it correct because everybody is sick and toxic. And they call it's perversion. You call it normal. And you need to pay attention to that. You can't have healthy relationships when you got emotion-driven people. They are unstable. They are not trustworthy. And it's a guarantee that they're consistent as far as whatever their feelings are. Or whatever, and I'm going to tell you something else. Sometimes people you think is the most loving is actually the most selfish. But you don't understand that they are actually one of the most dangerous people because they're so covert. They appear like you can't really read them. They just move. No, building an image and appearing a way is self-serving. It's serving whatever they want. Whole time you thinking that they're great one way and they a puppet master. Now their heart really is good. Because we don't want to talk about like with your feelings. The enemy can take some of your greatest strengths. And when you're not healed, he'll use those and let you operate in it. So everybody say, oh, this person is loving. And it's true that they are. But because of their insecurities and their real inferiority complex and their lower self-esteem that they hide because they don't think nobody can discern them. It's a lot of people out here that are not easy to discern. But then there are some people out here who that person, that's actually child's play. And then what you do when you see these things is not judge, you pray, you intercede for them. Because why? Like, then a person will say things like, you got to know the difference. This person's not a snake. They broken. I don't even care if it's snake tendencies. They are broken. And that facade, whoever failed them. And then sometimes people, we always quick to go to when people are emotions or something wrong with them. Everybody has not been molested, but a lot of people have more than not. Because words are just oh my goodness. That's why I used to punch people in the face in my relationships. I don't care if it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you. Because those words will stay with you forever. That relationship could be over. And if they cut you, like sliced you in your soul, that will be with you for 10, 12 years. You will remember that thing. So when you serving God, a lot of times you have to learn, observe, because if you get in your feelings and you participate and you want to be justified and you want to talk about right and wrong, and let me tell you something else about emotion-driven environments and emotion-driven people. They don't care about right or wrong. They only care that you agree with them. I'm going to say that again. When you are in emotion-driven environments and you deal with emotion-driven people, it is not about what is right, what is fair. It's only about you agreeing with them for your conformity to whatever they are subscribing. And if you don't do that, you are a problem. Emotion-driven people will stand up for themselves if they have a group or backed up into a corner. But real strength addresses issues head on. We don't let stuff fester and simmer, and then a person asks you what is going on, and you say nothing, and then when the person is away, you and a group have a whole conversation. This is what I really encountered the most with women. And then who she thinks she is, and who da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm the type of human that will come directly to you. Like, is everything okay? There's something going on? And I'm going to do it in private because I don't need no scene. I'm not trying to make no scene. I don't need to prove nothing. I don't know why people do that. And I don't underestimate anybody. And therefore, I don't think I should be underestimated. I don't think a 5-year-old should be underestimated, okay? Because I got issues. I was traumatized by a movie called Pet Sematary back in the day. And the little boy Gage came back from the grave. And that little boy was mean with a scalpel. So I don't underestimate anybody. I'm talking about being in your feelings, being emotion driven. And anything that you come into agreement with and believe, that becomes your mindset. Even people who are can't control their sexual desires. It's one thing that, we got a big appetite, but why commit to anything and then we gonna hide behind this just the way I am? That's not just the way you are. That's just what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Nobody's faithful? No. Say, I don't want to be faithful. Who cares about the reasons or what happened? There's no such thing as a good woman. No, you've never had a good woman. I could say it's no good men. I don't know that. Let me go there. Number one, I have been with men with adult ages, but to say like a whole well-rounded man, no, I've been with some intelligent boys, and then I've been with ninjas, honey. Ninjas, we using our words. But a man, I've been around some men, and I'm talking about like a real man. I have been in a room with men where their presence, you can feel it. It'll just shift. I don't know privately how they treat their wife or how they do, but when you come into the presence of that, because we all flawed, it'll shift. So I don't know about the good men. I know about some bad boys, I know about some ninjas, and I know about a lot of other stuff. So it's not fair for me to say that. All white people or all of us, if you want to talk about racism, all of us got a little bit of it in us. If you want to be telling the truth, we want to ride this big narcissist train. Well, guess what? We made in God's image, right? The truth be told, it's outside of these severe cases where, it's just like, some things going too far. So our self-image, we were supposed to come out esteeming ourselves, but in our own devices, we all are a bit narcissistic. We all should consciously work on being selfless. But if you are driven by emotions, all of these things will be magnified. So where you set to serve a community, if you don't really have the confidence and self-assurance in yourself, you'll serve the community, but in the back end, what's not being said is you serving them because that image is going to serve you for whatever you're empty and whatever you're missing. And everybody hasn't suffered a devastating thing. It really could be something in somebody's psyche that has consumed them to a point where they're driven by a reality that's not even real. Their perception is off. That's why your mental health is so important. I hope I'm blessing somebody with this conversation. I am definitely pushing and pressing out of my feelings because it's not about me anymore. I gave God a total yes, a total surrender. So this is what I signed up for. So it doesn't matter, about my feelings. And yes, he cares. He cares. But this is what it is. Because somebody has to do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you have a business and it's yours, no matter what's going on and how your life is falling apart, you gonna get up and go because somebody has to do it. If you got bills and you set up a lifestyle that you need to have and you have to meet these appointments, I don't even care if it's some business meetings and you can move it around, you're not gonna do that because you want to take care of it. You don't want to mess up your reputation and the relationships that you have fostered in business, and you are the boss because somebody has to do it. You understand what I'm saying? You said to God you want to pray, you gonna walk this thing out and all this stuff, your husband and or wife and your children, maybe you got some grandchildren, nieces and nephews, the whole family has shunned you, and now the one you share the bed with, for whatever reason, they acting crazy too. Money funny this week, stuff falling through, people cutting up in the ministry because their problems getting the best of them. But God called you the head, so you got to get up because somebody has to do it. And that's the choice that you make when you become a mother, a wife, a daughter. Because when you guess what? When you come back and your parent gets older, not every child is gonna try to rise up to the plate. And you got to be careful who you give your care to, because everybody don't have your good intentions at heart. They can love you, but when you emotion driven, they can end up doing things you would never expect your child would have done because of something that's not healed. Because everybody really is not evil. Sick, soul sick, spirit sick. And even in all of that and having to give back to your parents, for some what they gave to you, for some they never gave it to you. Why? Because somebody has to do it. Your children betray you, cross you, set you up, steal from you, do this, do that, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Then they need your help. They done turned their life over. They was a menace, like me, for 20-something years. And then they get themselves together, and now you got to be in a place because that's your child. But they gave you the blues. They took you through 12 stages of hell you didn't even know. And they come back and need you. And you let them in. Why? Because somebody has to do it. So don't sign up for stuff if you're not equipped for what you require. And if you know to think that you're equipped for something, don't get mad at what's required for you to get it. I love you in the love of the Lord. I want you to embrace being a misfit and understanding you just the right fit for Jesus. You be blessed until next time.